What is going on in the world of Austin real estate? The short answer is things are pretty stagnant. The longer answer is there's a lot that's going into that and a lot that's changing behind those more stagnant numbers. Let's get into it. Okay, friends. So, what are things looking like in February 2025 in Austin area real estate? As I said in the intro, things are looking very similar if you just look at top line numbers to how they were looking at the end of the year, and kind of to be expected. It's not necessarily the busiest of seasons in real estate over the winter months. But if you look below that kind of top line level, if you look below just average sales price, how long things are sitting on the market, if you look below how many listings are coming off versus coming on, there's a lot that I think is changing in our market versus how we were maybe a year or 2 years ago, particularly. And really, what it boils down to is we're staying stagnant with a lot of back end movement happening that's causing that stagnation. So, in any other market, with the number of homes that we're seeing exit the market without selling, expireds, withdrawn listings, where sellers are finding, hey, if we list this at a number that is a little bit maybe higher than what we are really worth in this market, they're finding that they're exiting the market without selling. So that's interesting because what that's doing is we're having listings go off the market and they're not selling, but it's keeping inventory levels pretty subdued to where we're not seeing 6, 7, 8 months worth of inventory in some of these markets. So what that means is inventory levels are remaining relatively low, which is allowing prices to be kind of propped up that otherwise might be coming backwards if sellers were more willing to drop prices. So I think we're seeing sellers who are anticipating, hey, maybe prices go back up. And buyers are, kind of digging their heels in and saying, you know what, no, I'm not overpaying for a property. It's not worth what it was in 21, 22. And honestly, you can kind of see both sides of it. But what I am seeing return to the market, as I talk about real estate, I always talk about a couple of different things. I talk about moves of convenience versus moves of necessity. Moves of necessity are never going to go away. These are people who are being relocated, who must find a new place to live for a variety of reasons. Moves of convenience tend to be the folks who say, you know what, I would love to have a new place. I'd love to have a little bit bigger great room. Would love to go find that place with the primary suite that I had my eyes on, but I don't have to do it right this moment. Those moves of convenience for the last couple of years have been totally gone. They're not in the market because they were always waiting for that other shoe to drop. Our rate's going to go down. Our price is going to plummet. And so what we watched is less and less demand, but inventory was still saying subdued because we had buyers asking for prices that weren't going to happen. So in my opinion, what I think we're starting to see now are those moves of convenience are becoming moves of necessity. They've waited longer than they otherwise would have to go and buy that new home. Whether it's, hey, we had another kiddo, and now this 3 bedroom place just isn't large enough for us anymore. We could make do for a year or two, but there's no imminent rate cut on the horizon. There's no signs that prices are going to, really drop in terms of what we're seeing from today. We're not seeing a huge price reduction coming anytime soon. So those moves of convenience are becoming moves of necessity as people live their lives and say, this space just isn't working for me anymore. And they've put off that decision for so long that now it's a move of necessity. So I think that we're going to see a relatively flat real estate market, especially in the first month or two of 2025. And eventually, once we have some things trend towards whether it's low interest rates probably next year, lower interest rates probably next year, that will get more people off of the fence in terms of what they're going to do. But as of now, by and large, pretty much a holding pattern. In January, numbers came back just a bit. Average sales price reduced just a bit. Days on market up just a bit. But we have to take into account those numbers were actually reversed in December. So 2024, December 2024 was actually higher average sales prices than the year previous. It was lower days on market than the previous year, December 2023. So I don't think that these ebbs and these flows are necessarily indicative of any major shift in the market. More so, it's just kind of the ebbs and flows of the market itself, and more an indication of a stable market as opposed to rocket ship upward, which we saw, throughout the COVID years. So these are just the ebbs and the flows, the seasonal cycles that real estate goes through. By and large, what I'm going to say, the advice that I'm going to give is the same as always, and especially in a stable market. You don't need to move based on trying to time the market, trying to make sure that you get in at the right time or get out at the right time. That's not what this market is about. This market is about how a move would impact you, your family, and your quality of life. That's the reason to make a move right now. You're not going to do it because it's going to make you, a millionaire in 2 years when you have all this equity. More so, real estate is getting back to what we've always seen, which is it's a great long-term play. It's a really great thing to aspire to if you're not already an owner. And if you are an owner, as long as you didn't buy in the last couple of years, you're in, the over 21, 22, you're probably still in a really good equity position. And even if you did buy in those years, we will see a return at some point to getting you back to those levels. It's just going to take a little more time. And that's how real estate has traditionally worked. And it honestly makes a lot of sense. Austin's still really strong. There's still an influx of people coming in. The job markets are strong. We're seeing really good numbers in terms of what type of industry is coming to Austin. So I think we're in a really good position. It's just real estate is a long-term equation. It always has been, with the exception of a few years where things went absolutely bananas. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're seeing right now, how the market is shifting. Honestly, I think we're going, as we start to see, how the spring market unfolds, I think we can expect to see things remain pretty much what we're seeing now, which is relatively normal rates of inventory, 4-5-ish months in most areas. Depends on where you're looking. And we're going to see a little bit of stagnation in both time on market as well as average sell price. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an indication. If you have questions about your specific market area, throw everything out I just said, because that is for Austin as a whole. That's everywhere from Kyle Buda out to, Colleen. That's everything that the Austin Board of Realtors, everything our MLS covers. If you have a question about your particular market area, it's not going to be the same as what I just recited. Let me know. Let me get you a more personalized, more tailored report that gives you an idea of what's going on in your area and how it affects you, because that's where real estate happens. It is a hyper-local business, and definitely want to make sure you're keeping up to date on all of those things. If I can ever be of assistance, I am JW Rader. So happy to be a resource for you in your real estate journey. Until next time, guys, see you later.